So what is the ultimate all-around setup for creating YouTube content, especially if you want to do 4K when it comes to the lighting, the camera, tripod, and microphones? I'm going to be breaking down my top picks for 2019 coming up. Hey, what's up? Sean here with Think Media, bringing you the best tips and tools for building your influence with online video. And if you're new here, we typically do YouTube tips and strategy videos as well as tech gear videos just like this one. So consider subscribing for more content like this. So camera technology is always evolving, and in 2019 we have already seen some significant camera releases, including the Sony A6400. And after doing some extensive tests here at Think Media, we definitely believe that this is one of the best all-around cameras for YouTube, and it's what we're going to build this entire setup around. Now, disclaimer, this entire setup runs between $2,000 to around $2,300, and so that might be out of reach for what you're planning to spend on video gear right now. And we actually have the ideal setup still in 2019 for around $1,000. And if you want to see that video, it's based on the Canon M50. It's more than enough for most people, so we'll link that up on the YouTube card and link to it in the description below. But in this video, we wanted to talk about a little bit higher end. If you went with some solid lighting, an incredible camera that can all do 4K for around $2,000, this setup is producing $10,000 results in our opinion. So let's dive into it piece by piece. So let's kick it off with the camera itself, and that is the Sony A6400. Now, the reason we love this camera is with the kit lens, it comes in at $1,000 at the time of launch, and we think that it's absolutely amazing. You get a couple cool things here. One, you get that flip screen, so for YouTube, it's pretty important. You can sit in front of it, film yourself, you can vlog with it. Now, it can be obstructed because the flip screen goes where the mic would go, and if maybe you want to mount a mic on the camera, and that's why we have this SMALLRIG HD cage on it, because then we can mount our mic here on the side and get around that, as well as mount other accessories as well. A couple other reasons why we love this camera is the 1080p footage is amazing, and a lot of people, they don't really need 4K, it's not mainstream yet. However, if you want to future-proof your setup, or if you do want to start shooting 4K, you know, lately the majority of the content here at Think Media has been 4K because we want to live in the future a little bit, we want to be ahead of the curve. So you're future-proof by having the 4K performance inside of this camera. We also really feel like this is a triple threat when it comes to creating content in general. What we mean is that it's great for YouTube, talking head, and vlogging with the flip screen. We also recommend this camera for live streaming. So you might step away from just talking head, vlogging, and want to mount this behind your computer monitor, and this is a great live streaming camera. Sony does make a evergreen plug-in for the battery, so you can just plug that in and plug it into a wall. But from our tests, we've been learning that you don't need it because you can power the camera through the USB port. And so if you actually wanted to shoot all day long with this camera, we have it plugged in right now, and the battery is being charged, and we can run recording on it at the same time. That's a feature we haven't seen on any other cameras really to date. So we love that. And then finally, besides just standard YouTube and vlogging and live streaming, this is also a great filmmaking camera, or those that want to start getting into indie filmmaking. You've got slow motion, you've got the ability to shoot flat color profiles like S-Log 2 and 3 or hybrid log gamma. And so all around, for a $1,000 investment to get started in this camera, we think that it's packing the most value right now on the market. Now, next up in our overall setup would be lenses. Now, what's cool is you could get started with the kit lens right out of the box, and the quality is amazing. I mean, we shot with this little home studio setup right here on the kit lens with the other gear we're recommending, and we're very impressed with the quality that you can get on the kit lens. However, with the starting aperture of 3.5, one of the goals you might want to achieve is that blurry background, that depth of field. And so there's two lenses we'd recommend, the Sigma 16mm 1.4 or the 30mm 1.4. And the reason why is because a 1.4 aperture is gonna let you get that really crispy, blurry background and be much better for low light performance. And so if space is limited for you and you have a smaller room, then the 16mm would be a great option. With 1.4 aperture, you can still get depth of field because it's just so shallow at 1.4. Or if you do have more space like we have here, we'd recommend the Sigma 30mm 1.4. At around $329, it's a steal, honestly, to get crispy Sigma quality glass, all the autofocus features of the camera still, a 1.4 aperture, and a very flattering angle. I would say that the 30mm on the A6400, if you care about kind of just having a professional look, a flattering angle where you're not really stretched from a wide angle lens, and you want a good value to add to your kit, I would get the kit lens and maybe the 30mm 1.4 if you've got enough space wherever you're shooting. Then besides the camera and the lenses, you of course need to pick up an SD card. You can't shoot right out of the box without one. And if you want to be shooting 4K, our favorites are the SanDisk Extreme Pro. You want to make sure you got that 95 megabytes per second so that you can capture the 4K footage on the camera. We have tried a lot of different brands, and SanDisk has been the most reliable and the most dependable for us when it comes to shooting 4K footage. And so make sure that's in your kit. A 64 gigabyte card might be enough for you, and that's around $22. Or for double that price, you could get a 128 and not have to switch out your cards or download the footage off of them as often. Next is at least one extra battery. Now, we always recommend, if possible, to buy the actual Sony brand batteries because you're investing in an expensive camera. You never want to have any issues. And one for this camera is going to run you around $50 on Amazon. And if you want to check out current prices on any of this stuff, we'll put those links in the description below. But as we mentioned, and we still need to test it a little bit more in depth, right now the camera is plugged in and still able to be charging while shooting and while even being in record mode. And so for you, if you're just shooting content at home or at like an office somewhere, then you might be good with one battery. But just something to note that it's always nice to have an extra battery, especially if you pop the camera off and you take it vlogging. You never want to run out of power on the go. Which brings us to the tripod. Now this is the K&F 62-inch tripod that we talk about all the time here on Think Media. It's probably overkill if all it's ever gonna do is just sit in your home office or just always just have the camera on it for basic YouTube videos. But we love it because it's so versatile. It's super light. We take it to events like CES with us or to conferences or different filming on the road. But also for home, it unpacks quick, really easy to balance the head really nice, which is cool. Some tripods you have to like manually get the legs, and getting it to that perfect level shot can be frustrating. All the features about this tripod are just perfect for us, and at $80, it's really quite a steal. And so if you want to see our full review of that, we'll link it up, and we'll put the video in the description as well. And then there's another accessory we recommend specifically for the A6400, and that is this SMALLRIG case. Now, what's really nice about this is it gives you the option when it's sitting mounted here to mount all kinds of things on the camera. You have all kinds of 1/4-20 screws, so you could put lights and microphones. But the main reason we like having it is because when the screen is flipped up here, you can't put the microphone right here without it blocking the screen. And so it moves that cold shoe over right here, which allows us to mount a shotgun mic on there, pop this off, and then that would be what would be part of a vlogging rig for this. And so at around $35 for the SMALLRIG cage, I think it's a great accessory to have so that you can mount things out of the way of your flip screen so the view is never obstructed for creating YouTube content. All right, that brings us to lighting. And for the ultimate YouTube setup for home or office use, we would recommend the Studio Pro by Fulvatech bicolor LED lights. And the reason is number one, they're bicolor, which means you can not only have daylight color temperature light that's a little bit more white, but you can also have amber color temperature light. And so you might find that in your home, all of your lamps and maybe your background lighting that's just in your house or office is kind of more of this amber color. Well, you can match that if you want to. Or if you're shooting outside and you want a fill light or something, you can go to daylight. So a lot of good versatility. And this light kit comes in for $460 here in the US, and that includes the barn doors, the stands, some travel cases, and everything you need to get started. And if you were comfortable with just daylight only and you didn't want bicolor, that actually comes in at around $399 here in the US. So not the cheapest light kit ever, but very well built and really great and versatile for shooting a lot of different lighting scenarios. And now that we have video dialed and we've got lighting dialed, let's talk about audio. And our all-around favorite setup for shooting kind of stationary YouTube videos is the Rode Pro Plus Studio Boom Kit on Amazon. What I love about this kit is not only do you get the microphone, which you could always buy in isolation, but you get an extension cable and this boom pole so that even if you are using like the kit lens, as we mentioned, at 50 millimeters, which puts the camera about 20 feet away from you, depending on the shot composition, with the cable length, you could still bring the studio boom pole close to you to get that perfect audio quality. It's also nice because when Omar and I are shooting videos together, we have the one mic boom poled above us, capturing both of our audio as opposed to two different lab sources like this, and trying to figure out how to put that into the camera. Now, when it comes to audio, there's all kinds of different solutions, but that's definitely a staple solution I'd recommend. Besides it being on the boom pole, you can also pop the shotgun mic off and throw it on your camera for the vlogging setup. And so we love the Rode Pro Plus mic because it senses when your camera turns on and off. It has like 1,000 hours of battery life. It's USB chargeable. You could do +20, -10 on the DB. A lot of functionality, great sound quality, and so just a great mic all around. But if there was an area that you wanted to save a little bit of money, you could pass on that microphone for now and invest in a mic kind of like the lavalier BY-M1 mic from BOYA. It's only $20. It would plug directly into your Sony. No matter how far the camera away is from you, it's corded, but you can just hook it up onto your shirt like this and still get some good audio quality. But if you want to invest in this ultimate YouTube setup, I don't think you could go wrong with the Rode Pro Plus Studio Boom Kit. So right now you're seeing and hearing the complete setup in action with the kit lens. Now, the cool thing about the Sony kit lens is it's versatile. So we're at its widest focal distance right now, 16 millimeter, and the aperture is at 3.5 because these lights have plenty of brightness, because the mic is on the studio boom pole. This is how everything looks and sounds the way it does. And the cool thing about the kit lens is you can actually adjust the shot. So right now we're at 16 millimeters, the camera's pretty close to me, but if we want to kind of adjust compression and maybe even create kind of more of a standard film flattering image, we could go to 30 millimeters or even 50 millimeters, and the Studio Boom Kit is going to allow us to have the same audio while achieving a different shot. So again, if my budget was around $2,000 to $2,500, this is the gear that I would invest in 2019 to have world-class 4K crispy video, great 1080p video as well, the ability to do slow motion, great versatile lighting, really solid audio, and all the accessories that you ultimately need. But keep in mind that it's really never about the camera, it is about the content. And no matter what camera you have, it's the best camera to get started with. I like to say, start posting videos, start creating content, and then level up your gear as you go. Which brings us to the question of the day, and that is, what camera are you shooting on right now, and what gear are you thinking about upgrading next? Let me know in the comment section below.